What did you see?
Scary area. All of the things that I shouldn't see.
Good afternoon, cats and kittens.
Goddamn, Carol.
It's JP and that's Ashley on the other side. And welcome to episode 2 of Drinking and Shit.
Drinking and thinking.
There you go. Yeah, thank you.
You've done too much drinking.
We're actually going to be drinking. I'm drinking today. I'm off the antibiotics. I got my root canal done. It's all good. So have you seen The Tiger King?
Oh, have I? I binge watched it. I try not to. I will purposefully not jump on wagons just because I don't want to be that person.
Same.
That is just like so far gone into it. And by the second or third episode, I was on the Carol Hayton train.
You can't peel yourself off of it. You just can't.
You cannot. You cannot.
It's like a train wreck. About to hit another train wreck. That hit another train wreck. That hit another train wreck. It's
so hard to look away.
It was. I don't know. Something about her that I just can't. I can't trust. You know, like
it's the eyes. The eyes say a lot.
Exactly.
Like you can see that she's been through some shit. I'll admit, I know that look, but you can also see that she's done some fucked up shit before too.
Yeah.
A lot of it.
And just the fact
to where it's heavy on her.
Just like that, the will that they drafted up after the fact, in case of disappearance, like.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, we're no legal experts. Cheers, by the way.
Cheers.
So what are you drinking?
I am drinking a Macallan. It's a Highland single malt Scotch whiskey. It's a 15-year.
Okay. Oh, nice.
And it's freaking delicious. It's not super expensive, but I can't stop drinking it. And unfortunately, stores are closed right now, so I couldn't go get another one if I needed to replace this one, which
you can
I
order
will need.
Online.
Can you?
Yeah,
well, then I will.
They opened up the online ordering, just because people are going crazy.
God bless them, everyone.
So I'm drinking a Duck Rabbit Brown Ale from the Duck Rabbit Craft Brewery.
From the store.
They're a craft brewery from North Carolina. There's he looks like a duck and a rabbit.
I see the rabbit.
Well, that's the rabbit, right? But now do you see the duck?
No, I still see the rabbit.
Well, screw you then.
When I lived in North Carolina, that was a very popular beer. Usually something that most local bars had on tap, some form or fashion.
I would like to
very
try
nice.
this on tap. I like their beers. I would like to try it on tap.
They are very nice.
I think this was one of my first craft milk stouts that I ever tried way back when, and it's the first time I've actually tried it again since what, that was like 4 or 5, 7 years ago now. Wow, 7. That's crazy. No, 6. Yeah, 6.
You're getting so old, you forget the time.
Especially exactly. Like I don't even know how long we've been quarantined or isolated. Oh man, it's an interesting time that we live in, that this is happening, and I guess the only thing we could take away from it is looking at the positives that's going on too.
Yes.
The climate is very, very different from a month ago. And
yes.
Like the air is just a different feel to it. Like it feels like a nice crisp. It feels clean.
I would like to actually be in Texas for this time, and North Carolina. Either one would be fabulous. Growing up, it was already pretty clear in Texas. I lived in a little German town, so it was very nice, and it's usually clean. They're very heavy on their tourist attractions. being a water park in the Comal River. And so you go out there and float all day, every day. It's always perfect. I would like to see what that looks like right now.
The water's probably nice and clean.
Yes, clean, without bums hanging out in their tubes, just drunk, passed out. Not that that's a bad thing. Been there myself, but still, I would like to see the river in its purest form, or purer form. North Carolina, we lived right by the beach. A lot of tourist pollution, but it was still very beautiful. I think a lot of areas would be very interesting to see right now. But here, definitely, it's compared to the first few times that I came here, where I could just tell that this was more city living. It's definitely got a much cleaner feel to it right now.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's got a little twist of like Japan on it, with everybody wearing their masks, and that's very interesting. Prior to all this happening, I had realized like how nostalgic I had been feeling about Japan, and then bomb drops, no pun intended. This happens. Everybody's wearing their masks. Everybody's all of a sudden keeping their distance, but being a little bit more kind to each other. Everybody's still stressed out, but doing what they can.
Yeah, that's the only thing we can really do, is just take it day by day and not get stressed out about it. Because at the end of the day, nobody knows how this is going to end. I think everybody that knows a lot more than we do are trying their best to get it moving. I'm sure nobody wants it to last this long or last any longer than it needs to, but at the same time, you don't want like a big spike once everybody starts going.
Yeah.
So, it's tough. But like, on the other side of the world, like Korea, they're starting baseball. Their baseball season's starting, so that's a glimmer of hope. China's already kind of getting their gears back working again, and it's only a matter of time before we start getting moving. But unfortunately, it's not going to be as normal as it is, or as it was when we stopped. Definitely not.
I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing.
No.
So something I try to push on my kids from the moment they started like comprehending what was coming out of my mouth was, wash your hands. People are gross. Wash your hands. Kids are naturally pretty gross, as you very well know.
Yeah.
Work and your own home life included. Yep. Kids are gross. People are just as gross, though, like adults.
Oh, yeah.
Adults are just as disgusting, if not more so.
No, I think they are more, because I remember my old job, my old office building. So, it's a floor bathroom, community bathroom. And, you do your business, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And you'll hear, like, somebody do number 2, and then they just walk out. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Men are gross about it, too. Well, like, women are gross, but men are much more gross when it comes to that. Like, when I lived in the barracks, it was 2 people a room, unless you were an NCO or above. So it's like E4 and higher. Then you might have 2 E4s in one room, but more than likely you're only going to have one. Our unit was small enough to where they could do that. And then sergeants and above, they're one room or already married and out in town. And we had to share one bathroom between sometimes 4 people. And like girls, like I said, females, they're pretty nasty. But they are the cleaner of the 2 by far.
I've heard
so they would we'd have to do inspections, room inspections, and wow.
I've heard stories on, because we have our office manager. She was the only female in our office. And she told us stories about what goes on in that bathroom. And even, we're cool with the janitor, so he like just walk by our office and just complain. It's like, why does everybody just take a shit? Why just put the shit in the toilet, not on the floor, the toilet? I'm like, crazy, man. Just crazy.
Oh man.
I was like, why can't you take a shit in the toilet? Right. I don't know, dude. I don't know. I do my business in the hole, not outside it. So.
I had to make a stop driving between, when I was in South Korea, I was driving from one base to another, and I had not yet adapted to real Korean food. It's like, I need to stop immediately. Yeah. It's important. I don't know where I am. I vaguely have learned some symbols, so I see a rest stop. I'm like, yes. But it's like, it's a genuine rest stop, like what we have, sort of, but just scary looking. And I pull over. I'm in uniform, which this is a big no-no, but I'm about to have my own no-no in a moment. So I run into the bathroom real quick, and I'm like hoping for a normal toilet, an American-style toilet. There was none. So that was an experience all on its own, but like,
what is even a Korean what's a Korean style toilet? Like,
it's a squatty potty. So it's like the hole in the ground where you have to like sumo squat and pray for everything to go well. And I pull my phone out because it's very dark in there. The lights weren't working, or honestly, I don't think they had lights. It was a rural area, so who knows? And I pulled my phone out for some light, and the things I saw, I cannot unsee. That was a scary.
What did you see?
Scary area. All of the things that I shouldn't see. Feminine products were smushed in for maybe years.
Ew.
There was shit smushed in on top of that.
Ew.
Probably years. Like, this was a really gross bathroom. There's poop on the walls. It was rough. It was very, very rough. And after I left, I could not get the smell out of my hair, my mouth, my camis. Like, I just would not leave. It was bad. It was really, really bad. So as soon as I got to where I needed to go, I had my bottle of soju and forgot all about it for a long while.
Up until now.
Up until now, thank you. You just threw me to a very dark place. Speaking of soju, have you ever had a proper Korean soju? Soju is their alcoholic beverage that they make. It's like
No, I haven't.
It is very delicious. It tastes pretty much like water. When I was there a month before everybody else got out there. So I was there for 3 months. And I had to drive, teach myself Korean, found soju, and that was a big, big comfort. That drink, once everybody got there, was a beautiful, beautiful, and terrible, terrible thing as well. It's delicious. It literally goes down like water if it's a good one.
I have to look into this then. Yeah,
because
I'm looking at the.
There is a blue one.
What's it made from?
It's made from heaven. We had people weren't supposed to bring soju back to Japan, so I had to. Part of my job was to go through quad-cons and ISO containers to make sure people weren't bringing stuff that they weren't supposed to bring back.
Yeah.
Naturally, a lot of people were bringing back stuff they weren't supposed to bring back.
Why not?
Exactly. So, the soju bottles that some people were bringing back were like huge. They were just absolutely massive. And they look like those, like the aloe vera bottles, those really big ones. That's what they look like. And it's just soju. They range from like 12% to freaking 53% alcohol. Like, this stuff is dangerous, but it's absolutely delicious. So nobody's gonna say no to that.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at these bottles and I'm just like, I could keep these. Because I had to fly back commercially while everybody else took military flights, like the C-130s back and forth. It's like, I could keep these and take them back with me. But I did the right thing, and I did not.
Of course.
Some bottles, I looked the other way because I knew whose they were.
Speaking of Korean, I made Korean air-fried chicken yesterday.
How did it go?
It was great, like really good. I did find a recipe that was for air fryers, and we didn't have the proper Korean paste. I'm gonna have to get it the next time I try it out. I just ended up using sriracha as a substitute. So the flavors were very close as to what I can remember Korean wings or Korean chicken. So it's really good.
It's been so long.
I know. I'll shoot up the recipe. I'll send you. I'll copy the recipe. Do you have an air fryer?
I do. Of course I do. Of course I do.
Silly question. So anyway, I'll shoot you the recipe.
Gotta have an air fryer.
I'll shoot you the recipe, and I'll share it. I'll share it with everybody else too on this edit, and give it a go. It's just a little bit time consuming because it's 30 minutes at 400 degrees, but you have to rotate it every 10 minutes. So, but other than that, it's just dredging it in cornstarch, garlic powder, onion powder, or salt, and the sauce itself is that Korean chili paste. In this case, I used sriracha just because I didn't have any Korean chili paste. Honey, brown sugar, salt, minced garlic, and minced ginger. Like, my son had 2 drumsticks.
Sounds delicious.
2 drumsticks. 2. He ate 1, and then he was like eating the rest of his, his potato salad, whatever. And it's like, maybe I have another chicken. I'm like,
that means give me another chicken.
Yep. And he just kept pointing. I was like, point. He just kept grabbing. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll just get you one and cut you up one.
That sounds delicious. I think I will absolutely have to try that.
Yep. It's worthwhile, especially now that you're probably running out of ideas on what to cook for dinner.
But yes, I am getting minimal cooking ideas now, because what we ate before, our diet was considerably cleaner eating. We were catering our food more so to two athletes rather. So now we're kind of like, I'll eat what I want to eat. Jason, we just got our Traeger pellets the other day. Jason made this freaking amazing chicken on the smoker. Yeah, we're not eating the best right now, but we're eating delicious food right now. So
yeah, we had burgers for lunch today. We do like a smash burger type burger, as in you just make the beef into a ball and you squish it down when you fry it.
Squishy.
It's really good. It's really easy and simple, but it's just messy. Like, this, I don't like frying inside the house. It's just oil gets all over the place, and so,
it is messy.
Yeah,
but it, as long as it's delicious, does it really matter?
No, it didn't, because it was delicious.
No real complaints, just cleaning complaints.
Yeah,
understandable.
Exactly. Food was great, so.
Yeah. We have a rule that is poorly followed, but a rule nonetheless. If I cook, someone else cleans.
Yeah, we usually do that too. But I end up usually cooking and cleaning just because I like to wash dishes like a weirdo. But she usually kicks me out in cleaning. I just like sometimes to stand after eating, so that's a good excuse to stand.
Washing dishes, huh? Very interesting. Very, very interesting. That is something new I learned about you.
That's why I have
like
so dry.
It's amazing. I've never heard anybody say that they enjoy washing dishes.
I do. It's very
impressive.
It is very weird.
I like sweeping.
I do like vacuuming too. That's another thing I like to do.
I don't like vacuuming because I can hear really well when I vacuum. That's that hearing shift that I have.
Yeah.
So like when I'm vacuuming, things get like really clear and like extra loud for me. So I would rather just sweep. I have one of those quickie mops that I can just push around and get everything. I prefer to do that. I do that several times a day. I actually did that in my office before I sat down for this call.
Nice. All right, we should go circle back around to how we started off the episode with Tiger King and finish it off with what other shows have you been watching? Because there's not much to do. Or movies, actually, I should say. Or anything binge-worthy that you can recommend to anybody else, such as myself.
I watched a movie yesterday with my kids.
Onward is really good, by the way, if you haven't seen it yet.
Saw it in the movie theater.
It was really good. I thought I wouldn't like it, but, Pixar.
It's never a bad idea. I love Pixar. Everything from Pixar is so good. Okay, so I just watched a movie yesterday with my kiddos. Legend of the Guardians.
Oh, is that the one with the owl?
Yes. Holy shit. My mind was so blown.
I haven't seen that in a while.
It was beautiful. They like, it only rates like a 5.9 out of 10 on IMDb. I don't give a shit about people's like, oh, it's good, whatever. It was a freaking delightful movie. It was just so good. Like the artwork in it, like just everything was just so freaking good. Oh my god, absolutely recommend that. Like, to me, it was like Lord of the Rings, but owls.
Yeah.
That's the best way I could describe it. And I'm not even like, I'm not crazy about Lord of the Rings, but I really, really enjoyed the movie, and I would happily watch it several more times. Actually, I think on Friday, tomorrow, either Friday or Saturday, we're going to get pizza and rewatch it.
Oh, nice.
Because my husband didn't get to watch it, but he will.
I've seen several movies, but I saw the new Charlie's Angels with
Kristen Stewart.
That was pleasantly good. I was very surprised. Yeah, I liked it a lot better than the last two ones that came out with the Drew Barrymore ones. So if you get a chance to check that out, do so. It's not a serious movie, so it's like one of those just kind of throw it in and just relax and enjoy for what it is. So I went to see Angel Has Fallen, which is the part 3 of the Fallen series, which is actually pretty good. I mean, it's very predictable as to what happens, but it was enjoyable as well. 21 Bridges with Chadwick Boseman.
Yes.
That was also
somewhat
predictable, but it was also a pretty good watch. And the last movie I just saw was Cold Pursuit.
I remember seeing it. I watched, just out of pure curiosity, an anime called Beastars.
Who?
Beastars. I recommend it to people that are into furries.
What the hell is this?
I don't know how to explain it. It's good, but it's uncomfortably good, if that makes sense. That's one of those like guilty pleasures, I think. And there's another one that I watched recently.
Is it BEA Stars? B-Stars?
Yes. B-Stars, yeah.
Oh my. It kind of looks like Zootopia. But
kind of, yes. Much less child friendly.
Alright, I may have to check that out like before I go to sleep or something.
Yeah, I watched a movie as well, but I don't remember what it was called. I'll have to find it. But it was actually really good. It was very violent. I like me a good violent anime.
Yeah.
Castlevania is one of our guilty pleasures though as well. But it's awesome, so it's not really guilty.
I haven't watched anime in a while. I just can't get into
it's like the newer stuff.
Well, not so much the newer stuff, but the newer style of it's more computer generated, computer animated. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I am particular about what anime I'm willing to watch.
Yeah.
It's got to be not computer. It can be CGI.
Yeah.
And sometimes it is, and sometimes they blend it really well. And then obviously it doesn't matter. As long as it's good, I'll watch it.
So yeah, I've been meaning to try some of these, ones that show up on Netflix, but now maybe I may be able to, but we'll see what happens.
Now that you've pried yourself away from Tiger King.
Yes. Goddamn Carol. So
fucking Carol.
Let's just end it with Tiger King again. Joe Exotic is
much like Carol. Yeah. Much like Carol finished her husband.
You're finishing.
I too finished my drink. Yes.
So yeah, Joe Exotic is a d-bag, or like I think he's an a-hole. But I've read some subsequent articles about him saying that they didn't show like his actual kindness. Like they did show on the series, like him serving some sort of gathering, right? So apparently that's like a Thanksgiving thing that they do. That him and his family cook a big meal for a bunch of people that are in need, and they've been doing it for 10 years. And they didn't even explain that in the series. It's just like it seemed like it was just like a random thing that they did. So
yeah, they kind of played it off like he was doing it for ulterior motives.
Yeah, but I don't know. Carol, on the other hand, just something about her that just doesn't sit well with me.
She killed her husband. She's probably killed more people. They should do like a personnel check.
Yeah.
And see all the people that have pissed her off and how many of them went missing.
Well, she knows how to get a tiger's attention by putting sardine oil all over it.
Sardine oil.
Whatever.
Now I know that.
And what else did they
Knowledge
say?
Is power.
It is. Yeah, they apparently they opened up the investigation again into looking into who, where her husband is and what happened and all that stuff. So we'll see what happens. Maybe.
It's tiger shit. That's where he is. He's tiger shit.
Yeah.
Because Carol fed him to her lions.
But it's just crazy to think that there's more tigers kept in captivity than out in the wild.
Right? Isn't that crazy? You would think just let them be.
But that's the
one day though.
That's the sour part. You can't release these lions in the wild because they don't know how to survive. Like, remember that one?
They'll figure it out.
The one zookeeper that got her or his hand bitten off. She identifies as a man. So he was saying that she wants to see these tigers free, but they're probably just gonna suffer out in the wild just because they don't know what the hell's going on.
Evolution, good sir. Evolution will take them back and release them back into Mother Nature's arms. You know what I'm saying? It could happen. It is a genuine possibility. If anything, they might teach the ones that are out in the wild how to go ransacking through trash cans.
Well, the only problem is too is there's not enough land for this.
How many there are? Yeah.
So that's another issue. But anyway, that's for another chat for another time. All right, cats and kittens. We'll see you in the next episode of
Carol Baskin killed her husband.
drinking and thinking.
Drinking and thinking.